bike's running well. When I first got it, I was running 92, 93 in it, gas. The last 2 times I filled up, I've used 87, because it was recommended that I use 87, and I didn't realize that. I assumed, oh, sport bike, I should use 93. Nope. What's up, YouTube? Crankshaft here. Just got my bike out of the shop from Al's earlier, and I gotta say I'm a little bit confused because they told me that there was nothing wrong with it. I told them that I was having some issues with the idle being really rough, kind of jumping all over the place, and that I was having issues with the front brake. At first I thought the front brake rotors might have been warped, but later as I found out, there were just some issues with the brake pads. They told me that my brake pads were glazed over, so I pulled them off, and sure enough, they were smooth as a baby's butt. So I swapped them out for some new ones, and I'm still getting a little bit of just some weirdness with them. You know, I'd like for them to be perfect, and they're just not quite there yet. I'm still having some issues with, when I start to take off, I'll hear this sort of winding up noise. I think that the, I don't know. I think it might be an issue with the calipers. That's the only thing I can think of. Because when I'm just starting, like when I go from a complete stop and just start moving, you'll hear this sort of winding up sound from the front wheel. I haven't tested this since I replaced the front pads. This was, you know, I replaced the front pads maybe 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago, and I haven't tested it out since. Before I replaced the pads, if I put it up on its race stand and gave the front wheel a good spin, the wheel would catch at a certain point, and obviously that's not safe. There was something, it was like the rotors were grabbing, or the calipers were grabbing inconsistently as they were going around the rotors, which led me to believe that they were warped, that the rotors were warped. But I had them checked with the dial gauge and everything, and I don't know, whatever he used to check it, and he said that they were just fine. So with the pads replaced, though, my braking is a lot smoother. You know, I'm definitely a lot more happy with it, but it's still not quite at the point where I'm happy. You know, I don't want it to, I don't want there to be any repercussions down the road. You know, the braking is definitely better. It's a lot smoother. That makes me happy that it's a lot smoother, but I've got a nice big wide turn up here that I'm going to take, just one of the exits, and we'll kind of see how it goes. That'll give me a good idea about how much it's improved. Just one of the exits up here. It's like one of those big corkscrews where you have to slow down to about 25 miles an hour, and that'll give me a good idea about whether or not the brakes are fixed, or, you know, if it's just me getting used to the way good brakes feel again, you know, whatever. Alright, this is the moment of truth right here. It certainly feels better. It's still not, I don't think it's right. But they're not bad. You know, it's not to the point where it's like before I was scared. I was afraid I was going to be pulling the brakes and it was so jabby that I was going to, yeah, I was afraid I was going to have some serious issues. But yeah, I just grabbed not quite a handful of brake there, but a little more than I probably should have, and it was smooth, at least, you know. It's a lot better than it was back then. Oh, I have a Jardine RT1, by the way, on this. I'm rather fond of it. It's what the guy before me had. I don't like how it looks, but I very much like how it sounds. Yeah, they're definitely still, at slow speeds, they're still really grabby, and I don't like that at all. As I was slowing down, maybe under 10 miles an hour, it was just really surprisingly jerky, and I can't have that, so there's still something up. I hate to just replace the whole calipers, but what I'm going to try to do probably is just bleed them, see if that fixes it. The idle is still a bit wonky, but it's better than it was before, which is kind of surprising to me, because they didn't do shit to it, you know, they did zero things to it, and it's still marginally better. So I just got a brake bleeding kit from Cycle Gear,
and I might go ahead and take care of that tonight, I might not. My friends there said that most people will bleed the brakes when they swap out the brake pads, or that you should. So I don't know, I personally, I've never heard that, but I guess I'm gonna go home and Google it and just make sure before I go through the trouble of it. Yeah, the brakes certainly seem better. I'm hoping that once the pads are mated, any remaining issues will just kind of go away. Take some time for them to sort of break in. But slowing down, like if I go ahead and hit the brakes here, it just feels really, like, it vibrates pretty badly on the front. So I still don't like that at all. And I don't know if it's, I don't know what it is, but it concerns me. Nonetheless, it concerns me. Man, it was really hot earlier. I've got that freeze out inner layer, and I had it on earlier, but it was so hot that I took it off when I got home, and now that I've come back out again, I really wish I hadn't taken it off because it's cooled off so much. I really don't mind winter riding in the slightest. In fact, when I learned to ride, it was in the middle of February in Georgia, which it wasn't, you know, that's not super cold, but it was cold enough that it was very uncomfortable if you weren't wearing, you know, a good amount of gear. At the time, I had zero motorcycle gear. Like, all I had were gloves and a helmet, and I would just wear ski clothes. And wear my leather jacket, which was just like, it wasn't even a leather jacket for motorcycling. It was just your standard lambskin, you know, go out and look all fancy leather jacket. But I stretched that. I think it was like maybe 5 years old. Got all stretched out, and I just started wearing it for that because it was big enough that I could fit a good deal of layers underneath it and stay pretty toasty. Yeah, when I slow down, it's like it's certainly immensely better, you know, but it's not good yet. It's not to the point that I feel safe. But right there, see that? Kind of see that grabbing. I don't like that.
don't like it one bit. But my idle is smooth again, or at least, you know, it's as smooth as I feel it should be. A little bit of wobble, but I mean, before it was like fluctuating down below 1000 RPM and up above 16 or 1700 RPM, and it was nasty. God, this road is bumpy. Nut destroyer. Like right here. Oh, right there. It was all over the place. That's where my footage ends. I think my file on my GoPro was corrupted. So that's it. Peace, YouTube.